All right, let's move on to the left tackle. Fabulous individual player. But my impression of him is that he's not the same kind of leader that Joe Staley was in terms of caring about other people's performance and demanding better. I always got the feeling with Trent Williams is like, he's playing well, that's cool with him. And that's fine. But do you think he's worth the money that he's going to get in free agency? And do the Niners have to give it to him?
Yes, he's worth it. And yes, they need to give it to him. You know, you can't discount a guy like Joe Staley. And I think you're not going to find many guys like Joe Staley who've stayed with one team their whole career and multiple coaches. Yeah. But he was a great player. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, but you know, the kind of leadership that Joe Staley brings is unmatched by a lot of people. So they just don't have it. And I don't know what I would expect from Trent Williams. I would almost think like bringing in a guy like Alex Mack might help. Someone who knows
he would fill that role.
Yeah, I think he would kind of fill that veteran role. Trent Williams just kind of, you know,
does his thing.
Since his thing with the whole medical situation in DC with the Redskins or formerly the Redskins, sorry for saying that, but I think he, you know, he's kind of about himself, and I don't have a problem with that. I just don't think he's a guy that I would look to for any type of leadership on that line. You know, he's a great player. I think he only gave up 19 pressures all season.
Great player.
But, you know, I think, again, like, are you really – I don't know. You know what kind of guy he is. You know you're not going to get more out of him than what he gives on the field. So I don't know that that's something they should really care about with the leadership, and especially if you can get a guy like Alex Mack.
All right, well, that leads me to my next question. What should the Niners do at center? Of course, Alex Mack is a great target. Trent Williams, great target. Can the Niners afford both and re-sign Fred Warner? Or do they have to do something?
I'm not a cap guy, but I'm pretty sure if you can give – and I've talked to Niners Nation resident cap guy Jay Hurley about this off and on. He thinks if they were to get, you know, somewhere in the ballpark of 4 to 5 year contracts, you could re-sign Williams and others, and you'd probably have, with the cap going up again next year, enough to keep Warner around. So I don't know what Alex Mack is going to command in free agency. I mean, he is, you know, 35, 36 maybe. So the age is a factor, but you know, you get him on a 1 or 2 year deal. It's not the worst thing in the world. And you can probably still keep Williams.
For Niner fans who don't watch other teams, which I think that's a significant portion of Niner fans, and aren't that familiar with Alex Mack, could you give a little scouting report of what he would bring?
The easiest thing I can say is go rewatch any 2016 Falcons offense.
Yeah.
He is the anchor of that offense, basically. He doesn't get enough credit. He does it all. He's very smart. He's played in the Shanahan system, so he knows, you know, the protection schemes, what the fronts are for certain calls and things like that. You just don't find a better center than that.
And what did the loss of Richberg and Garland do to this offense this year?
Yeah, I don't think that can be understated either. You know, if Richberg's injury guarantee wasn't what it was, I'd be all for keeping him. And we don't even know if he's ever going to be able to play again. You know, he missed last season because of that injury he suffered in 2019.
Yeah, the patella.
And he, at the time, was very good when he was playing. He just, you know, he had his injury issues, but he's another smart one that kind of knows the system, that's been immersed in it for the last few years. And even Ben Garland, you know, backing him up. Those were, I think, bigger losses than anyone wanted to talk about, because it does have an effect on, you know, the protections called out and, you know, which way they need to slide to block certain players. And that may have had an impact on how McGlinchey played. You never know. But that once that center position went down,
it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, the interior, that center and right guard took the biggest hit, I think. I don't really have an issue with Tomlinson. He did give up a few pressures, but, you know, nothing significant.
All right, let's talk right guard then. So what's the solution at right guard? Just give Daniel Brunskill like more time there, or draft a guy, or what do you think?
No.
Tom Compton.
I think Compton was better, probably of the three that they played there, of him, Brunskill, and McKivitz. McKivitz had some good reps. He also had the big miss on the 4th and 1 in New Orleans where he went the wrong way, and that blew that run play up in the backfield. He was a 5th round pick. I don't know what you really expect out of that, but I think you got to go in the draft, or I don't think Brunskill's it either. He got crushed there in Dallas. That's just he could play. He's a guy that can come in and play tackle, left tackle sometimes. But
he has this legend because he does well against Aaron Donald when they just throw.
That's not even that true.
I know when they just throw the little shovel passes all day. Yeah. There's nothing for Aaron Donald to do. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you get 1 or 2 blocks on Aaron Donald like everybody does, and you think they're the greatest player in the world.